Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm sure you saw the story and there's no way that I couldn't cover it because new dinosaur species, you guys.
Exciting!
Brand new, just out, and this guy looks like only dinosaurs can. Totally nuts. If you've watched this channel for a minute, you know that Jurassic Park completely blew my little child brain apart, and I've thought dinosaurs were incredible ever since. But if you're new to my channel and used to me covering mostly space, I hope you'll stick around because occasionally I do feel compelled to cover the weird and wonderful in science, and dinosaurs definitely fall under that topic. This discovery is amazing. This dinosaur looks so delightfully weird, so let's take a moment to meet this recently discovered dinosaur. So our newly discovered friend is a new species of Spinosaurus, who I believe showed up in Jurassic Park 3. Anyway, this new species is called Spinosaurus mirabilis, and he was a big guy. This dinosaur, about the length of a school bus, was unearthed in Niger by an international team of scientists led by paleontologists from the University of Chicago. Details of the discovery were published in the journal Science on February 19th, 2026. And what's truly exciting about this discovery is that it is the first time in over 100 years that scientists have discovered a new species of Spinosaurus. So it's not like we're coming across these guys every other week. Now, just for some background, Spinosaurus, just Spinosaurus? I'm going with Spinosauruses. Spinosauruses were large fish-eating predators that emerged during the Jurassic period, about 140 million years ago. This new species lived about 95 million years ago during the Cretaceous period in a marshy inland area in what is now called the Central Sahara. So up until now, most Spinosaurid fossils had been recovered from coastal deposits near ancient shorelines. And that pattern led some researchers to suggest that these creatures may have been fully aquatic predators that hunted underwater. But this newly identified fossil site in Niger tells a different story. The remains were found 50 to 1,000 kilometers from the nearest ancient marine shoreline. Nearby were partial skeletons of long-necked dinosaurs preserved in river sediments, pointing to a forested inland environment crisscrossed by waterways. Lead author of the paper and the expedition, Paul Sereno, compared this new species to herons, which hunt for fish in shallow waters and have bodies that are well suited to semi-aquatic living. He told NPR, "I suspect that this animal was fishing largely in about 3 feet of water," although he went on to say that the species was large enough to stand in about 6 feet of water without floating. And Sereno pointed out there were many large fish in rivers back in the Cretaceous period, including some that measured up to 9 feet in length. So if you're a school bus-sized dinosaur, that is some good eating. Sereno said, "I envisioned this dinosaur as a kind of hell heron that had no problem wading on its sturdy legs into 2 meters of water, but probably spent most of its time stalking shallower traps for the many large fish of the day." Now, the most obvious physical difference between the newly discovered species and its previously discovered cousins is a foot-long curved horn that protrudes from its skull. And this is one of my favorite things about dinosaurs. They just have an insane amount of horns coming out in all kinds of numbers and places and directions. And you're just like, what? Mother Nature, you are having too good a time making dinosaurs. The authors of the paper speculate that the horn or crest may have been brightly colored based on the texture of the fossils, and that the crest may have been used to attract or communicate with other members of the species. And I don't know exactly what they mean by that, like telepathically? Like the horn is psychic? What? Now, even though this paper was recently published, the team first discovered one of the crucial crest fossils in a scientific expedition all the way back in 2019. They returned in 2022 and discovered even more specimens at the same site, which is in a pretty remote stretch of the Sahara. But of course, this area wasn't a desert when Spinosaurus was alive. During the mid-Cretaceous period, this site had rivers running through it, though it was hundreds of miles from the nearest ocean. And the whole story of how they even found these bone fragments is some Indiana Jones, Uncharted kind of stuff. The expedition that led to this discovery began with a brief note in a 1950s monograph. In it, a French geologist mentioned finding a single saber-shaped fossil tooth resembling those of the massive predator Carcharodontosaurus, a roughly T-Rex-looking dinosaur. Paul Sereno said no one had been back to that tooth site in over 70 years. It was an adventure and a half wandering into the sand seas to search for this locale, and then find an even more remote fossil area with the new species. Now, all of the young scholars who joined me are co-authors on the report gracing the cover of Science. And during their search, the team encountered a Tuareg man, a sort of local nomad, who offered to guide them on his motorbike deep into the Sahara, where he had seen enormous fossil bones. So they went with him, and after nearly a full day of traveling and a lot of uncertainty, he led them to this fossil-rich area. With limited time before heading back to camp, the researchers were able to collect the teeth and jaw fragments belonging to the new Spinosaurus species and led them to further expeditions that led to this incredible find. Sereno said in the paper that this find was so sudden and amazing that it was really emotional for our team. I'll forever cherish the moment in camp when we crowded around a laptop to look at the new species for the first time, after one member of our team generated 3D digital models of the bones we found to assemble the skull on solar power in the middle of the Sahara. That's when the significance of the discovery really registered. I can't even imagine what that moment must have felt like. Amazing. The recreation of the skull of Spinosaurus mirabilis will be on display at the Chicago Children's Museum as of March 1st, 2026. And Dr. Sereno plans to return to Niger for future expeditions and build a fossil lab there, as well as help the country of Niger build its own dinosaur museum. So hopefully there is a lot more to be learned about this dinosaur in the future. There's this amazing video that the University of Chicago put out that's like a snapshot of the expedition and actually documents the moment that they made this discovery, and it's a great fly on the wall moment. It's actually really touching, and it's about 4 minutes long, but I'll drop it over on my Patreon if you want to check it out. So what do you guys think? A brand new species of dinosaur to start off 2026. A hell heron, as Paul puts it. I'm still wondering how many undiscovered species of dinosaur is out there waiting to be discovered. I remember reading this article a couple years ago, I think it was like in the Smithsonian or something, that said that there are probably more species of dinosaurs waiting to be discovered than have already been discovered. And we've already discovered like 1,000 species. So like another 1,000 plus? What? And these undiscovered ones could be even weirder, have like even more horns coming out of their faces, and they actually already do come out of their faces. I'm looking at you, Triceratops. Makes me giddy just thinking about it. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and as always, I will see you in the next video.